Sampling techniques. So, ano nga ba ang sampling techniques? Sampling techniques refers to the method used by researchers to collect data from smaller group known as the sample to present a larger population. So, there are several types of sampling techniques, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. Simple random sampling is a subset of a statistical population in which each member of a subset has an equal probability of being chosen and is meant to be an unbiased representation of a group.
For example, merong population na 15 sa section ng Anaximander at ang kailangan mong sample is 4 lang. So, sa 15 na students sa section Anaximander is pipili ka ng 4 na sample na pwede mong interviewin without being biased. Each of them ay dapat may equal probability of being chosen. So, that's the example of simple random sampling. The advantages of simple random sampling is 1. Easy to implement with random dialing. 2. Fair way of selecting a sample. 3. Require minimum knowledge about population in advance. And 4. It is unbiased probability method. Now, the disadvantages of simple random sampling is 1. Requires list of population elements. 2. Time consuming. 3. Uses larger sample size. 4. Produces larger errors. And 5. High cost. So that's the advantages and disadvantages of simple random sampling.
Stratified random sampling is a method of sampling that involves the division of a population into smaller subgroup known as strata.
For example, may 4 na section sa UMS na merong tagta-3 students. So sa 4 na section na yun, pipili ako randomly ng tag-iisang students sa 4 na section na yon. So, ang magiging sample natin ay isang student sa Anaxi, isa sa Socrates, isa sa Plato, at isa din sa Galilei. So, that's the example of stratified sampling.
The advantages of stratified sampling is 1. Minimizing sample selection bias. 2. Ensuring certain segments of the population are not overrepresented or underrepresented. Meaning na ang sample mo ay hindi sobra at hindi rin kulang. At ang disadvantages ng stratified random sampling is 1. It is unusable when the researchers cannot confidently classify every member of the population into a subgroup. 2. The sorting process becomes more difficult, rendering stratified random sampling an ineffective and less than ideal method.
Cluster sampling. Cluster sampling is a probability sampling technique that is commonly employed to study large populations that are geographically dispersed. Multiple clusters of people from the target population are created. Clusters created must have a similar distribution of characters as the distribution of the population as the whole. Steps in doing cluster sampling. First, define your target population. Next, you must define your sample into clusters. Third, randomly select clusters as your samples. Fourth, collect data from your chosen samples. Cluster sampling. Ito yung example niya. Kunyari, cluster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. I-represent natin siya as a school. Kunyari, yung cluster 1, Molimar, cluster 2, Upper, 3, Central, so on and so forth. Pagkatapos naman nun, pipili tayo dun ng respondents natin as a whole. Kunyari, napili natin si cluster 1, si Molimar. Bale, ayun yung magiging respondents natin. Lahat ng nasa Molimar as a whole.
Systematic sampling is a method for selecting a sample from a population in a randomized manner so as to minimize sampling errors. For example, sa population na 10, ang kukunin mong sample is yung every second person. So, ang magiging sample mo is si person 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. They are systematically selected. So, that's the example for systematic sampling. And the advantages of systematic sampling is 1. It is very simple to use. 2. It also saves time and cost. And 3. It checks bias in subsequent selections of samples. And for the disadvantages of systematic sampling, 1. There is a possibility of losing vital information from the population. 2. It might not be possible to select the required sample size if the population is too small. So that's the disadvantages and advantages of systematic random sampling.
Convenience sampling. First, the definition of convenience sampling is a qualitative research sampling strategy involves selecting participants based on their accessibility and availability on their research. For example, the convenience sampling is a qualitative research and interview. The ones you can interview is the person who is available to interview and who want to participate in your research. The disadvantage of convenience sampling. First, bias in sampling. When your population is not chosen in a random places like larger population, this might a sampling bias. Second, lack of variety. And third, internal and validity is limited. Fourth, unknown errors. Fifth, or lastly, possibility of research bias.
What is volunteer sampling? A volunteer sampling is a non-random sampling method where participants self-select to be part of the study or survey. Concept of volunteer sampling. Volunteer sampling involves individuals self-selecting to participate in a study or activity. What is the advantages and disadvantages of volunteer sampling? Advantage: easy and cost-effective implement. Disadvantage: results may not be representative of the population. Analyze how volunteer sampling can impact the generalizability of research findings. Volunteer sampling can lead to selection bias and limit the generalizability of research findings to the broader population. Meron tayong 5 examples of volunteer sampling. 1. Asking for volunteer sampling in a classroom to participate in a survey. Ang sabi dito, paghingi ng mga voluntaryo sa isang silid na aralan upang lumahok sa isang survey. 2. Recruiting volunteers from a community center for a focus group. Ibig sabihin, pag-recruit ng mga voluntaryo mula sa isang community center para sa isang focus group. Pangatlo, requesting volunteers at a local event to try a new product. Ibig sabihin, paghiling ng mga voluntaryo sa isang lokal na kaganapan upang subukan ng isang bagong produkto. Pang-apat, seeking volunteers from a sports team to test a new exercise product. Ang sabi dito, paghahanap ng mga voluntaryo mula sa isang sports team upang subukan ng mga bagong produkto ng ehersisyo. Last, Inviting volunteers from a social media to participate in a research study. Ang ibig sabihin dito, pag-iimbita ng mga voluntaryo mula sa isang social media na lumahok sa isang pananaliksik ng classroom. Inviting volunteers from a social media to participate in a research study. Ang sabi dito, pag-imbita ng mga voluntaryo mula sa isang social media na lumahok sa isang pananaliksik na pag-aaral.
Snowball sampling is an probability sampling method where new units are repeated by other units to form part of the sample. Snowball sampling can be a useful way to conduct a research, also known as a chain sampling or network sampling. Snowball sampling begins with one or more study participants. It then continues on the basis of referrals from those participants. This process continues until you reach the desired sample or a saturation point. Example of it, you are studying about your research and you are finding it difficult to find participants. First, look for interview with your own circle of friends. After the first interview of a couple from your own circle, ask them if they know of another people who may be interested in taking part in the research. Once you have interviewed the second person, ask them for a referral. You continue until you have conducted interviews with 30 couples with your desired sample size. The disadvantage of it, there is an increased risk of sample bias and margin of error with a snowball sampling. This method doesn't use random selection and participants are likely to refer people who are similar to themselves. For these reasons, the results may not fully represent the population.
What is quota sampling? Quota sampling is non-probability sampling method that relies of non-random selection of predetermined numbers proportion of units. This is called quota. You first divide population into mutually exclusive subgroup and then recruit samples until you reach your quota. Bibigyan ko po kayo ng example ng quota sampling para maintindihan. Yan, ipapakita ng ating editor. Yan. Makikita nyo po dyan is meron pong nakalagay is male above 40 years old. Sa isang group po is mamimili lang po tayo ng male na 40 years old pababa. And after that po, pagkapili natin, isa-separate po natin sila. Tapos yun na po yung quota sampling. Ganun lang po siya kadali. And after that, we have observation. Observation aim to get the best representation of responded in the final sample. And the last is purpose. The aim of quota sampling is control what makes up your sample. And di pa nagtatapos because we have a advantage and disadvantage in quota sampling. Advantage is easy to implement. 2 is cost-effective, and 3 inclusion of all the key subgroups. And the last is the advantage. We have risk of non-random selection and potential bias in sample selection. And the last is difficulty in the settings quota. And yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
So to wrap it up, sampling techniques are essential in research because they help us gather data effectively without having to study every single person or item in a population. Random sampling is like picking names out of a hat. It gives everyone in the population an equal chance of being chosen, just like how everyone's name in the hat has an equal chance of being picked. Stratified sampling is when we divide the population into groups or strata and then randomly select samples from each group. This helps us ensure that every one group is represented in our sample.